What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing you Ravens content every single day. If you want to see that daily Ravens content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Now, first off, I just want to apologize for kind of the late upload. I was actually getting my Ethernet port actually fixed because it was broken. So hopefully from now, I have better internet than what I used to. So every once in a while, it would sometimes, glitch for like maybe half a second, but that should be all fixed now. Fingers crossed. But I saw something today. I also, took a little bit longer because I also recorded an episode of the Trust the Bank podcast. So be sure to, stay tuned because those will be coming out very shortly over the next couple of days. But, getting into kind of what this video is all about, I saw a tweet for NFL Rumors. Now, NFL Rumors is not Adam Schefter. They're not. A lot of times the rumors don't pan out. They don't fall through. And they tweeted and they said, "We just want to put this out here. A rumor with no sources. Ravens might be looking at trading for wide receiver Allen Robinson with Orlando Brown. Let's see just a rumor for now." Now, obviously, like this is not something that, oh wow, they're really looking into it. But I figured, hey, you know what? This is an intriguing enough idea that the Ravens could still potentially pull off enough to the point where I think I could talk about it. Because first of all, I'll say I'm a huge fan of Allen Robinson. I firmly believe he's a certified top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. He's a great jump ball wide receiver, great hands, great, really just pinpointing the ball when it's in the air. He can catch it anywhere, low, high, behind him. He's got it. So, somebody that the Ravens could go after. And the other reason is why is because he's refusing to just sign his franchise tag. So obviously he doesn't want to be in Chicago. This was very clear last year. It's very clear still. And I think that this is something that the Ravens could take advantage of, because if the Bears have to trade him somewhere, why wouldn't they go for a young, proven offensive tackle like an Orlando Brown? Now, they could just have Orlando Brown to help protect whatever quarterback they have for their future. They just signed Andy Dalton. Or they've been trying to acquire a certain quarterback from the Seattle Seahawks and Russell Wilson, and they weren't able to offer enough. Yes, the Seahawks said that they were not going to trade Russell Wilson at this time, but things happen. Gettleman said that they wouldn't trade Orlando Brown, and I think about a week later, they traded Odell Beckham to the Cleveland Browns. Like it happens. They say they don't, but if they get an offer that's like, oh, wow, something that the Bears could be able to offer, something like, hey, here's Orlando Brown Jr., here's Khalil Mack, and here's 3 or 4 first-round picks. And it's like, oh, wow. Like before it didn't have Orlando Brown, and it was like, we need a little bit more. But with Orlando Brown, a premier young tackle to be able to play in Seattle because they don't have a good offensive line, maybe that could be the thing that pushes them over the edge. Obviously this is all speculation. So let me know down in the comments down below, like what your thoughts are. Like, could this even be pulled off? Obviously, I know it's just a rumor. This isn't something I'm like getting my hopes up, because obviously a lot of Ravens fans have been getting their hopes up about different wide receivers. This is just, to talk about, one, I like talking about potential Orlando Brown trades because I think it will happen. And two, obviously I like talking about the wide receivers. So, what Allen Robinson could potentially bring to Baltimore is just the big body physical wide receiver that they've needed. Allen Robinson never played with a good quarterback. He's never even played with a bad quarterback. He's only ever played with horrendous quarterbacks. His quarterbacks for his career are Blake Bortles and Mitch Trubisky. How are you ever supposed to have success with that? Well, you have to be very, very talented, and Allen Robinson is. He's only been a one-time Pro Bowler, but he has had 2 back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. And that's, once again, with Mitch Trubisky as quarterback. Like that's just in and of itself how massive of a talent that he is, if he's able to do that with Mitch Trubisky. And if Bears fans are watching this, sorry, Mitch Trubisky isn't very good. But, what do you bring to Baltimore? Like I said, the Ravens need a physical wide receiver. They need a big body wide receiver. I've said that I don't want them to sign a wide receiver because I want them to draft one. And I still believe in that. I still believe in drafting a Rashad Bateman, a Terrence Marshall, or somebody like that in the first round. But if they're able to get a premier wide receiver for a 1-year rental, or potentially he agrees to a contract extension, I think it would be worth it to go after. Because if it is just a 1-year rental, they can let him walk. And, you know, if they drafted Rashad Bateman in the first round or something like that, well, Bateman's learning under Robinson. Maybe he doesn't get a ton of reps, but like he comes in, he plays well, and they're like, wow, I really like what Bateman brings. Allen Robinson, you can go after the franchise tag. Bateman plug in, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, they wasted 1 year spending a good chunk of change on Allen Robinson, but it was only for 1 year. Whereas if they had signed him, I guarantee he won't sign for a 1 year deal. It would be much more expensive, and it would be a multi-year thing. And you don't want to pay a wide receiver long-term that type of money because of production and not being able to, win championships and things, because it ruins the cap. But Lamar's still on his rookie deal, so you can pay a guy, for 1 year. Boom. So, in terms of the cap space, I think it could work if the Ravens made a couple of, changes, did some extensions, some restructures. They'd be able to afford it. Now, whether or not the Bears would do it, I don't know. Obviously, they wanted Allen Robinson, but he doesn't want to be there. And I think over time that's going to wear down on the Bears. Like if you have, your best player in your offense is like, I don't want to be here. He didn't want to be there last year, and you franchise tagged him. He's just mad. Like he's probably going to request a trade. Like he doesn't want to be there. So them finding the best deal, there isn't, a better deal than getting a young Pro Bowl tackle. I mean, there isn't a better deal unless somebody offers like 2 first-round picks. But like that's pretty much it. So like Orlando Brown for Allen Robinson, I think would be a great straight up deal for both teams. Orlando Brown's still making low money. They'd have to pay him eventually, but they could either use him to trade to Seattle or they could just play him at left tackle. And they don't have a franchise left tackle for the years to come with whoever they end up rolling with at quarterback. So in terms of like whether or not, I think both teams would do this deal. Depending on what Eric DeCosta's plan is for the offseason. That's the big question, whether or not they will. I think if it's a possibility, I think that the Ravens should pull the plug. Or I'm sorry, pull the trigger. Don't pull the plug. Pull the trigger and make this deal because, one, I think it would satisfy a lot of Ravens fans. But I think as a 1 year type of thing, I think it would be interesting. But like I said, this is just a rumor that was started. It's not something that's like, oh, this could really potentially happen because, Jeff Zrebiec said it. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that name. I'm not very good at pronouncing names. But, it's a fun topic to talk about. So in the comments down below, let me know what your thoughts are on this, this rumor. It's not even a rumor. It's like something made up, but like could still sort of potentially happen. But if you have any other like Orlando Brown trade offers, doesn't even have to be to the Bears. Like maybe it's to the Jaguars. Maybe it's to the Chargers. Maybe it's to the Colts. Let me know down in the comments. I'm very curious to what all of you think that we should get for Orlando Brown because a lot of people have a lot of different opinions. So let me know down below. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you like. Hit the like button down below. And I'll be back with the Trust the Bank podcast tomorrow with Joshua.